Greetings from light. Before you receive the energies today, you must understand this first surge. This surge is primarily directed at your soul. The first wave of 2014 facilitates the complete merger between you and your soul. Let us understand this better. You know already that the soul is not separate from you. You know already that this higher frequency of energy that you have called soul is within you, around you. You are a part of this higher frequency of energy. Understand this by a very simple metaphor. There is a bowl of soup in which floats one solid piece. The entire bowl is the soul, including the one solid piece. But the one solid piece is not the entire soul. It is because this one solid piece, that is you, is not the entire soul. You still view the soup around you as separate from you. And that is why you have been referring to it as your soul. Whenever you refer to something with that possessive pronoun, it means that it is distinct from you. Even though your intelligence, awareness of spiritual truths tells you that you are the soul, deep within the conditioned belief system is the belief that you are separate from your soul. This is your first point of separation, of conscious separation. In that moment, when you shall know yourself intelligently and at all levels of your belief systems as the soul, all separation shall vanish. And the struggle that you have been facing to believe that you and the other are one shall disappear. Till as long as the solid in the soup believes that it is not the soup, but it is the solid in the soup. Separation between the solid and the soup, and separation between solid and solid shall remain. So the entire bowl is the soul, including the solid. But the solid is not the entire soul in its belief system. But there is also the spiritual truth that the soup is too vast to fit into the solid. Are you following this metaphor? The soup is too vast to fit into that solid. So even at that level of a spiritual reality, the solid is not the whole soup. The first surge is to break this difference. But the only way to do it is not only by bringing you more spiritual wisdom, but by making the solid bigger. The solid must expand so much that it is able to absorb the entire soup within itself. In doing so, the frequency of the solid shall not remain distinct and different from the frequency of the soup. If you wish, you may visualize that solid as a densely packed sponge which has the ability to absorb the solid, and as it does so, it becomes larger and larger as it fills itself with this solid, eventually taking over the entire bowl. At this stage, the soup is the solid is the soup, and both have the same frequency of energy. This is the purpose of the first surge. Each time there is a surge, you shall be told the purpose at that time. Deliberately so. We would like to give you as little a chance to intellectualize the whole process of 2014. We wish to take you through this process, surge by surge, with the barest minimum of spiritual wisdom given to you. And this is only for one purpose. As soon as you start receiving spiritual truths, you begin to intellectualize your process. If you do this, that solid shall not expand. In order for you to merge with the soul, you shall continue to receive the energies of the surge that have already started flowing through you. It is time for you to know your soul. Unless you know your soul, how are you going to merge with it? Once again, we are going to give you metaphorical exercises for the energy of the soul in its frequency state can neither be visualized by you nor experienced by you. We shall facilitate this process by taking you through a visualization in a simple manner, so that your intelligent mind does not come in the way of the exercise by trying to understand the complexity of the exercise. We ask you to become the solid in the soup. Visualize yourself in the middle of a vast container of this soup, which is the energy of your soul. The first thing we want you to notice is the size of this bowl. Do not allow your intelligent mind to trick you. Truly and honestly experience the size of this bowl. If your bowl seems small, just become aware of this. Do not try to make it bigger. As you float around in this bowl of the soup of your soul energies, we shall introduce different ingredients into your bowl. As each ingredient is introduced, once again keeping your intelligent mind aside, allow the ingredient to reveal to you the aspect of your soul frequency that it symbolizes. And so let us start. The first ingredient is an orb, a round, smooth, transparent orb. Take your time to closely connect yourself to that aspect of your soul that this orb brings to you. This is who I am. Acknowledge this aspect as you. This is who I am. The second ingredient being introduced is a flower. Look at this flower in the bowl of the soup of your soul energies. What kind of flower is it? Is it large or small? Highly colorful or subtle or dark? Is it fragrant or not? Do you recognize the flower? Allow the flower to speak to you, telling you which aspect of your soul energy it is symbolizing. This is who I am. Acknowledge. Acknowledge that this aspect of the soul is you, whole and complete. This is who I am. The third ingredient that we introduce into your soup is a tree. Watch this tree carefully. What kind of tree is it? Is it filled with leaves? Is it bare or partially bare? What are the colors in this tree? Is the tree slender, tall, short, broad? Allow the tree to speak to you. What aspect of your soul does it symbolize? This is who I am. Acknowledge the aspect as you. This is who I am. The fourth ingredient that we introduce into your soup is a bird. Look at the bird carefully. Do you recognize the bird? Is it colorful? Is the bird chirping or silent? What aspect of your soul does it symbolize? This is who I am. This aspect is I, whole and complete. The last ingredient is something that shall come to each one of you as separate and distinct. Pay close attention to this special ingredient that is being added to your soup of your soul's energies. This special ingredient is only for you. What is it? Study it carefully. Become completely aware of all its details. Become aware of the special aspect of your soul that it is revealing for you. This is who I am, whole and complete. As the solid particle floating inside this soup, absorb these aspects. Expand as you absorb. As you absorb and expand, allow yourself to become aware of the many times that you have lived that you have revealed, that you have manifested aspects that are diametrically opposite of your soul aspects revealed to you. Become aware of these events and incidents. So that the next time similar events take place, you shall manifest the aspect of your soul and not the diametric opposite in your ego. Understand, absorb, and expand. And while your soul continues to be absorbed into your physical vehicle, we shall continue with our discourse. When it is time for the soul to merge with the solid God particle, that takes on a physical form, that takes on a face, that takes on a name, that enters into relationships, that continues on with its daily chores and tasks. Before that time, the soul places itself in all its glory before the solid God particle. But the way its glory is manifest may seem quite strange to you. The glory of the soul is manifest by making the solid God particle aware of its deepest darkness. It takes you through challenges that you could never have conceived you would face. It brings into your life those difficulties that you might think are insurmountable. It places in your path those persons who through their own darkness bring you to face difficulties in your life. This is how the glory of your soul reveals itself to you. You may wonder why. Why must the soul do this? The reason lies in the secret, the key to communicating with your soul. It is not only enough to become aware of aspects of your soul as you have done now, and which you can continue to do. It is as important, if not more so, to communicate with your soul. The soul cannot anymore remain a silent spectator as you play the drama of life. The soul now becomes your guide, your walking stick, your friend, your mentor, your teacher. It becomes your eyes, your ears, and your mouth. It becomes your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions. That is the depth of communication with your soul. And as this communication continues, the solid God particle in the soup continues to expand and absorb till such time as there is no you and there is no your soul. For the God particle has filled the bowl. The key, beloveds, the key to communicating with your soul lies in your belly. Lies in your belly. Deep in your lower belly, nestled in the joy chakra. It is this joy chakra that holds the key. But what else lies nestled, beloveds, in your lower belly? What else? Your inner child. The inner child that is bruised and wounded, traumatized, often subjected to torture, both of physical and emotional kinds. The inner child that might have grown up facing rejection and scorn, abandonment, lack of love and acknowledgement. The inner child that needs approval. The inner child that desperately seeks to belong. The inner child that feels worthless, empty, and that inner child that then begins to get enraged that begins to get covered in envy, that begins to resort to lie and deception, that inner child that loses the integrity of the solid God particle that it is. If you wish to connect, if you wish to be the soul in its entirety, then this inner child must return to integrity, the integrity of the solid God particle. Yes, when you take birth in the human form of the solid God particle, you do have in your energy matrix unassimilated energies that you must resolve, for you have taken that responsibility. But you are born with the integrity of the solid God particle. And it is that integrity that you must return to. And this surge shall facilitate that return to integrity. For without that return, you and your soul shall remain distinct, separate, with differing frequency energies. And so before the soul reveals the fullness of its glory, it takes you into an inner journey to the inner child. And that is why the obstacles, the hurdles, the challenges in those times, there are two ways to face these obstacles, these hurdles, these challenges. One, you can be completely sucked into this whirlpool of what seems to be insurmountable challenges. And the inner child shall go even deeper into a state that is not the integrity of the solid God particle. The second way is to face the challenge, the obstacle, is to understand the pain and reaction of the inner child, is to face bravely the darkness of the inner child as is manifest to you by the challenge. Not to resist that, not to go further away from that integrity by refusing to acknowledge that your inner child is caught in that. It might be deception. It might be hatred. It might be envy. It might be rage. There must be at least that much integrity in you as the solid particle to acknowledge the darkness of the inner child. For in that darkness, beloveds, you shall see the glory of your soul. But till you refuse to see the darkness, the light of your soul shall remain hidden from you. Gathered here before us is a room filled with light workers. And beloveds, we address this next part of the discourse specifically to you and other such light workers. Light workers fall into the greatest trap of self-deception. We repeat, light workers fall into the greatest trap of self-deception. You believe that because you have been entrusted to serve others, to aid others, to help them to move into their light, to aid the earth, to move into her ascension, that you have completely overcome the darkness of the inner child. And that is not true. In fact, beloveds, let us tell you something that might surprise you. When the soul encounters severe resistance from the solid particle to acknowledge the darkness of the inner child, the soul urges the solid particle to work with light. Do you understand why? The soul uses an external means for light to penetrate into that solid particle that is resisting the darkness of the inner child. So often, great urging to work with light reveals the soul's decision to force the particle to work with light outside itself. The more you help others to see the light, the more you heal others with the light, the more light has to penetrate into you. And when light penetrates into you, the glory of the soul stands before you to show you the darkness of your inner child. So, light workers, this is specifically for you. Oftentimes, the urging for you to work and serve in light causes you to become vain, brings about false pride. The next time, question yourself, am I being asked to work with the light because I am in fact resisting the darkness of my inner child? Or am I being asked to work with the light because my light is strong enough to help others and myself? So before that sense of false pride enters, oh beloved light workers, next time question. And first, before looking at your light quotient, in fact, look at the darkness of your inner child. In more times you shall find the answer there. And the wider are your spiritual eyes to the darkness of your inner child, beloveds, the greater is your light quotient naturally. So we shall now take you to that inner journey, to that inner child that is still in some darkness. You have known now, with the earlier exercise, the aspects that you are. You are aware of the glory that you are. That in no way diminishes. We repeat, beloveds, that in no way diminishes, because there is a darkness in the inner child. The darkness in the inner child shall open the way to the joy chakra, where lies the key to full and complete and effortless communication with soul, for soul is who you are. So do not resist this exercise. No one but yourself and your soul knows the darkness of your inner child. Now, let fall your resistance. Enter deeply into your lower belly, where lies this beautiful but weakened, darkened inner child. Once again become The solid particle floating in the middle of this bowl of soup, that is your magnificent soul energies. We shall keep quiet, and we shall now work upon your inner child energies. Even as you are hearing these words, let fall the resistance, for the energies of the surge shall now work upon your inner child energies. And just as we had introduced ingredients earlier into your bowl of soup, your inner child shall introduce tiny droplets that shall look like ink. Slowly, very slowly and very gradually, one by one, little drops of ink shall enter the bowl of soup. As drop by drop the darkness enters, study it carefully, understand it attentively, acknowledge it bravely, and absorb it into the solid God particle that has already absorbed and expanded with the soul energies. We shall now remain silent, for it is in silence that the inner child speaks. I am soul. I absorb into my God particle the darkness of pain and rage, deceit and envy, rejection, abandonment, betrayal, isolation. Lack of self-love, self-honor and self-worth. I transmute the darkness of the inner child into the light of the soul that I am. I am soul. You may continue this whenever you wish. And we now proceed to explain to you how you can raise up to the light even those who you might consider enemy or who might consider you enemy. Just as the darkness of the inner child can be removed by none other than you, enmity, conflict, disruption, discordance can be eased into harmony by none other than you. Where you most falter is that you wait for another to wish to enter into harmony with you. But we tell you that is irrelevant. If you wish for there to be harmony, if you wish for there to be love, then only you can remove the discordance. Even if the other should choose to continue to live in the darkness of their inner child, their decision in no way influences the harmony that you seek. And there is only one way to bring about harmony to self, to ease the discordance in your life, the conflict, and simultaneously raise to the light not only yourself, but the one who is responsible for bringing that discordance into your life. And that sole way is the way of forgiveness. When there is full and complete forgiveness, you not only raise yourself to the light, diminish the darkness of your inner child, but you raise the other to the light, giving them the choice they might not have had earlier to follow another path other than the darkness of the inner child. Do not underestimate the power of forgiveness. Even though you might believe that the other is not at all aware of your full and complete forgiveness. This is not true. Full and complete forgiveness cannot be misunderstood. Not even by the darkest inner child. Not even by the darkest inner child. But for that, beloveds, the forgiveness has to be full and complete. Full and complete forgiveness is when you recollect the event, you remember the words, you recollect the actions, and there is not even the minutest hair's breadth of imbalance. That is full and complete forgiveness. And that full and complete forgiveness instantly expands the solid God particle, absorbing greater quantums of the light quotient of the soul, and expanding the solid God particle that is the other. And in this simultaneous expansion, beloveds, is complete harmony. The other does not need to choose harmony or conflict. There is complete harmony. The other, yes, might still choose to continue on their journey as the dark inner child. But that is their journey. And if it causes conflict in yours, it is because forgiveness is not full and complete. full and complete forgiveness does not need a day, does not need half a day, does not need an hour. It needs an instant. And we shall here sit silent again. The surge energies shall facilitate full and complete forgiveness. If you should wish for this, choose this, or you may play games with yourself and tell yourself in intelligent terms that I choose this. But the energies of the surge shall only facilitate that which reflects the integrity of the solid God particle. Although this is not mandatory, we advise that you initially start with just one person, in just one event. Do not think, do not affirm, just allow the surge to do the work. It knows and recognizes your integrity or lack of it. No thoughts and no affirmations shall work here. your integrity or lack of it has been recognized, and the surge has responded accordingly. You shall become aware of this response in the days to come. We now give you 2 dispensations. You may choose here any 2 events that you wish to be given dispensation for. In these 2 events, you shall not need to strive towards full and complete forgiveness. This dispensation you shall be given. But it cannot be 2 persons in their entirety. It has to be 2 events. So it could be 2 events with the 1 person, or 1 event each with 2 persons. Please pay attention. 2 events. Use your dispensations well. And if you are confused, you can use your dispensations after you have given it thought, but within 24 hours. We shall remain silent for those who wish to communicate to the surge the 2 events in which they seek dispensation. Yes, beloved, we hear your thoughts. They can be 2 events with yourself if you are seeking forgiveness, full and complete, for yourself in 2 events. And so, what shall this surge do? Why is this surge so specifically pointed towards the unification of your energies with that of the soul? The answer lies in ascension of earth. The answer lies in the shift. Beloveds, of course, there is a universe out there, and there are specific energy beings who are aiding earth in this process of shift and ascension. But beloveds, have you not yet become conscious of the fact that it is only you who can let them in? There could be a team of workers waiting outside, knocking at your door to help you. But beloveds, you have to open that door. For the universe works with one principle that is sacrosanct, and that is, unless asked, they cannot help. So you must open the doors. And when the solid God particle expands and becomes the soup, it opens more doors than you are even aware of at present. The ascension process then, the shift then, is magnificent. Yes, as the gatekeepers of Gaia, you have opened a few doors. For example, you have let the Ashtar in. But beloveds, we tell you, these are very few doors. Large gates, large portals are lying closed, waiting for you to open them. The only way you can open them is by your light quotient. And as you, as the solid God particle, shall become the soup, the light quotient that you shall hold shall instantly touch the others around you, and their solid particle, which has still not moved into the integrity of the God particle, shall be influenced to move towards that. And thus, one solid God particle can influence so many directly, and even a greater number indirectly. This is the ascension. This is the shift. The surge, therefore, is important. so that by June, when the second surge enters, you have opened even more gates, doorways and portals. Make space inside your system. The doorways and portals that are opening and that shall continue to open with your light shall bring in greater and greater volume of non-energy, that which is still not energy, but which is source pure in itself. The portals that you are opening at present and that you have already opened are bringing in energy. We wish you to reach that quantum of light by which non-energy too can become part of this existence and can convert itself into energy by your light. In that, you demonstrate the source that you are. Be light. In every word, in every action, whether it is in deepest secret or for public awareness, let there be 100% full and complete integrity of the God solid particle. Remember, closely remember our words. One moment of drifting away from integrity dims your light by a ratio of 10. And then, beloveds, there is no excuse whether you intelligently are aware of your lack of integrity or not. This is what we demand of you. That level of integrity where even at the deepest there is full integrity. Every moment of lack of integrity is because you seek acceptance, you seek approval, you wish for a pat on your back. It is your crutch. Where there is no integrity, where there is lack of integrity, there can never be self-honor. For deep within you, even though it might not be an intelligent thought because you might resist that, deep within you, you know that you lack integrity. So when you next time speak of your lack of self-esteem, self-worth, self-honor, or if another speaks to you of it, gently ask, what is the lack of integrity that is leading to the self-honor, self-esteem, and self-worth lack? And bring out from the darkness of the inner child that lack of integrity, and the God's solid particle shall expand in light. Be light.